All right, you guys, so Mental Health Monday. We just got back from doing training in Oregon, teaching the VSO, Operation Rebuild Hope. The founder of that organization has gone through our program. He's one of our alumni, and so he's got a big organization down there now. And so he had us come down and train all of his staff. And so that's what we were out doing this weekend. And then there's Harley right there. She's chewing on one of her bones. There she is. So Mental Health Monday. So what are we going to talk about today? Well, we do surveys at the end of our trainings, and we ask people what was the most valuable piece for them, what was their biggest takeaway, and we list the different chapters of the book. And everybody said, well, not everybody, but the consensus was that the Amygdala Hijack was the most valuable piece. So that was what the majority of people said was the chapter, which is chapter 6 on the Amygdala Hijack. That was the most valuable piece for them. So if you guys don't know, the Amygdala Hijack is basically a panic attack. It's what the professionals in mental health call a panic attack, really. Like, that's the clinical term. It's amygdala hijack. So what does that mean? Well, the amygdala is this small little piece of your brain. It's like right in the middle, and it is a very primal part of your brain. It controls your fight, flight, or freeze response when danger is abound. And so it triggers, and it actually fires faster than any other part of your brain. That's why sometimes people say that when they've been in combat, or when rounds are going downrange, or when they're in a car accident, or danger, a wild animal comes at them, or a dog comes at them, and they say they feel like time slows down. It's because their body is actually processing and reacting faster than their conscious mind can comprehend. So it's that amygdala part of your brain, that primal piece that's designed to keep you alive. That thing fires off and gets you out of harm's way, which is exactly what it was designed to do, right? Like, that's how God designed it, is to keep the species alive. We see something dangerous, we're either going to run from it, we're going to fight it. Well, I can't even talk. We're going to run from it, we're going to fight and kill it, or we're going to freeze. And so why do we freeze? What is that? Well, my theory on that is that predators, which was what would be stalking us, their eyes are facing forward. Both eyes face forward on predators, if you didn't know that. And the first thing they notice before they see color or shape is they see motion. They see something moving. So that's why, like, when you come across a deer, you jump a deer or a rabbit, it'll freeze, right? Because its natural reaction is to freeze, because it's less likely for the predator to see them if they're not moving. And so the difference between, prey and predators have eyes in the front, and the prey will have an eye on each side of their head, so they can kind of see more for danger.
So in a day-to-day application or an example, I have a root canal on Tuesday. I don't like the dentist. And so
our dentist is great. She doesn't like dentists in general.
It's fantastic. But I just don't like it. Don't like it. And so I've been thinking, and my body has been reacting to this idea of going to the dentist. And my biggest issue with it is that I'm going to be numb, right? And that's okay. That's not a big deal. But my brain says, I can't feel you swallowing. I can't feel you breathing. We're dying. And so my amygdala has been taking over the last few days, knowing that this procedure is coming up and telling me that it's dangerous, I shouldn't do this. And so I'm having that fear response and having to talk myself back down from the amygdala hijack. So in the dentist chair, I can't fight them. That wouldn't be productive. I can't run from it, because that's what got me in this position in the first place, needing a root canal. And freezing really isn't an option, right? So I have to literally talk myself back down. I have to do my breathing techniques, my grounding techniques, oftentimes over and over and over again in the dentist chair, to keep from having that panic attack and that amygdala hijacking my body and convincing it of something that's just not true.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's designed to keep us alive when there's an actual threat. But when it's not a real threat, when it's just a perceived threat, that's what the panic induced. And so a panic attack, people experience it from time to time. It's actually not that big of a deal. But when we don't treat it, when we don't work on it, when we don't try and unpack whatever that trauma is,
we don't acknowledge it,
then it can become an anxiety disorder. And that's a real problem, because then it starts impeding on your regular life, and you start shying away from things, and it causes you more problems. So the amygdala is a small little part of the brain, and right next to that is where they store all the trauma memories. So your brain likes to categorize things and put like items together. And so anything traumatic that happens to you gets stored. Those memories are stored right next to the amygdala. So that way the response time is a lot quicker for your brain to recall that information. So if it sees something that reminds it of a traumatic experience you've had, that memory, the circuit from that memory file to the amygdala is really short versus being stored in somewhere else in your brain. And so they're stored right there next to the amygdala, and that's what can happen, is that your body perceives a threat or sees something that is similar to a threat that you've experienced before, and it will pop automatically, and that's where you get that amygdala hijack. So some of the things that you can do to, how do you overcome that? Well, you've got to start listening to your body. When you have a panic attack, don't just dismiss it. When it's over, go back, unpack it. Why did that happen? What was I seeing? What was I hearing? What was I experiencing? What were the sensations in my body? And you start to unpack that stuff, and we call it like a BDA, a battle damage assessment. We want to look and see what happened, what's our after actions report, and pick that stuff apart. That way we can figure out what's going on and unpack those memories. Or realize that certain things are triggering us, so maybe we need to stay away from those things temporarily. Not long term, but just temporarily, till we can get some therapy for that issue and move forward. And so if you guys want more tips on the amygdala hijack and more mental health tips, like I said, we do this every Monday. You can check out my book on Amazon, Healing Through Service, and go back through some of these other videos that we've done. We talk about these things every single week. So we love you guys, and
and always reach out if you guys have questions. Put them in the comments. I mean, we're not experts, but Aaron's amazing.
I'm an expert.
But Aaron's amazing at research, and if he doesn't know the answer, or we don't know the answer collectively, we'll point you in the right direction.
Absolutely.
We'll find the answer.
So, all right, that's your Mental Health Monday for the amygdala hijack. All right, we'll see you guys next time. Sergeant Q, and I'm out.